my current research project is looking at abortion and Christian attitudes toward abortion. One of the realities in our country is that despite the fact that large numbers of people think that abortion should be legal, a little bit over half of the people in the country, when they're polled, also feel like it's immoral. And so there's this real contradiction that fascinates me. So the work that I'm developing right now is really challenging the presumption that women need to justify their choices. Women who make the choice to end a pregnancy are subject to cultural shaming, to secrecy, feeling like they need to keep parts of their life hidden. So there's a bias implicit in that whole framework of the conversation. And so my work right now is developing a Christian ethic that focuses on reproductive justice as the framework for thinking about women's whole reproductive lives. So I am in dialogue and reading philosophers who are writing about abortion, other Christian ethicists, the Christian tradition, sociologists who are studying this, polling data around attitudes and opinions in the country. And so I have a sort of a large set of sources that I'm looking at as I try to develop this argument that we need to move beyond the justification framework that shapes the current debate. Precisely because the justification framework has an implicit bias against women, and create a new framework, which I'm arguing should be a reproductive justice framework. And that when we think about reproductive justice, we think yes, abortion is part of reproductive justice, but so is sex education and access to contraceptions and access to fertility treatments if you're poor and you need them. I mean, there are all sorts of issues that are a broader understanding of women's reproductive capacities and reproductive justice. So that's part of what I'm interested in doing. I'm interested in helping people have a broader framework for thinking about abortion. So it's not just abortion is the moral issue, it's women's sexuality, women's fertility. These are larger moral questions. And then I also, in part of the work, I'm really trying to help people think in more sophisticated ways about prenatal life. And so there's this discomfort with trying to understand what's happening in that 9 months that we don't understand. It's outside of our capacity, our categories for thinking about life. And so we attempt to put it into the categories that we have. And the debate around abortion, the shaming, the language that's sensationalized in terms of murder and killing, all of that is based on a particular theological belief. And that theological belief is that the prenate is an equivalent moral status to a baby that's been born. But that's a theological belief that not everyone shares. And so I think it's also helpful to highlight the fact that there is a particular theological belief, a minority theological belief, that's really dominating our legislation.